So now that I got my paper set up where I'm going to, I got to mark it at the edge where the color forms are going to start coming from behind the object. Once I have it marked, now I want to look at the marks where they are. Okay, that's the width. And then from there, I have to remember that the forms themselves, these are all going to be based on gravity. So they're all going to kind of have the dripping. The one thing you have to remember is as you're drawing in the movement of the color forms, there's some similar type of a pattern that you can see. I'm kind of modeling some of the patterns created by the work in the example there. You need to draw the largest part of the form. All the interior lines are going to be drawn after it. So this helps to create the areas of overlap. As well, if you do it lightly in pencil first, it makes it a lot easier to make adjustments after you've created several different overlapping forms. You'll also notice that in the middle of the color forms, that's kind of the lowest part of the drips. So continue going ahead and drawing the color forms with the accuracy and overlap. And again, draw the biggest parts of them first, and then later you go back in and add the interior line work. Now that I've finished the bottom of the drip, I want to do the interior line work. The interior line work should model, almost mirror image, the shape of the individual overlapped form or underlapped form. In this example, I'm demonstrating how you're going to create one that's going to go off of a horizontal plane to a vertical plane. So there's the horizontal plane. This break in the table here is where my vertical plane is going to start. So I'm going to draw lines that are basically in perspective, going back in space visually on an angle to the widest part of my paper. That line is where it's going to be folded and appear that it's going to go onto the vertical surface. Now, when you have these forms on a flat surface, if you remember, they look a lot more like sunbursts or flower shapes. They don't have that drip happening. So they're more of a floral kind of rounded bump shape. And again, you want to continue that concept of overlapping. You don't want to go beyond the edge of the horizontal plane going back in space. Now, as I get through these shapes, I can vary the look of them. You can create thinner bumps. But as I hit that line where it's going to fold, you can see that I'm starting to create some of the vertical drippiness of that form. And then again, when you do the interior, vary the widths of the lines so that each color, see, I've got a thick one, now I've got a thin one, vary those, and that's going to be where I'm going to fold it. So I take my ruler, I line it up, and I just give it a little bit of a crease so that when I go to cut it out, I'll know where the fold is going to be. Now obviously I still have to do the color, but I would set up all of the lines so that if I wanted to erase, I can. I would cut around the outer edge of the form and have my finished piece.